Now for the additional settings, I'm just going to go quickly through these. Is we have, well, this is quality, this is layer height, this is where we were. This is shell. Shell is a good one. This one I recommend you tinker a bit with. It increases your strength quite well. Infill, different types of infill. Grid is the most common one. I do recommend you try this one. We definitely don't need 100%. Let's go back to 10 and use grid and slice. Let's see how that goes. See, we remove the infill. This is maximum quality, but still without the infill we reduced a lot of time and we're within our limits. And material, this is not always optional, depends if it has 2 print cores or not. The 3 extended, you might have options here. Speed, do not touch this one. Speed affects the flow rate of the material and will screw up your model if you change it. This is a very difficult setting to touch without stuff going wrong. Travel, this is how the we can actually select it here. If you look at these blue lines, this is how the hot part of the printer has to move to complete the model. So these blue lines are travel lines for where the hot end has to go. You do want to not touch this as well. It might get weird. Cooling, do not touch this. This will screw up your model as well. This is an advanced setting, difficult to do. Some materials require you to tweak a bit if there's like a special advanced material, but this is for advanced users. Be careful with this. Support, we can change this if we want. I do recommend you keep the original 50 overhang. Changing this might cause issues with your support and not making it good enough. So just quickly jumping in here because I made a small mistake. For plate adhesion, we have the one I recommend, which is Brim. You should stick with this one. Brim is the one you see at the bottom here. You have also the option of skirt, which I made a small mistake about. If you take a quick look at skirt, skirt looks quite meaningless, but it's actually not. The function of the skirt, as you see it here, it's not even connected to the model. Is in fact to just get the hot part of the machine ready and primed. So it makes this part here and gets the material flowing, and it also allows you to observe the skirt and see, okay, if the skirt gets screwed up, it warps, that kind of stuff, it means you have an issue with your model having some calibration issues. Basically, you're liable to get warping and that kind of stuff, where the material is starting to flex and bend out of position because of poor calibration. So that's the function of skirt. We'll move on to the next part now then. You also have raft. Raft basically adds a plate for it to be on it. It adds a lot of material and a lot of time, so stay away from raft and instead go for Brim. Dual extrusion, if you have a more advanced printer, you can select, for instance, one of the print cores on the 3 extended to use a different type of material and that kind of stuff, or limit one to support, that kind of stuff.